Remember, it's those small steps that will lead to large sustainable change.
Are you feeling pulled in a million directions and like there isn't enough time left for you at the end of the day? Is your business thriving while your personal life is suffering a slow and painful death? You've come to the right place. Unprocessed Jess brings up the topics many of us are dealing with but aren't talking about. It starts the candid conversations about health, sex, relationships, fitness, food, joy, and everything in between to help you integrate your life with your career. Sit back, relax, and let Unprocessed Jess take you on a journey towards discovering whole health.
Welcome to episode 4 of Naked Talk. This is Unprocessed Jess. So glad that you joined me today. I'm going to have a few episodes on a summer series, and we're going to bring some practical tips into our routine and things that we can do to work towards a healthier lifestyle. Any time of the year is busy, whether we're a parent or not, entrepreneur, professional, whatever the case may be, we're just busy, right? So summer often is a time, though, that we stop to either take vacation or have celebrate holidays with family. So I'm going to be bringing you some tips that you can start implementing into your life now, and before you know it, you'll look back and you'll say, wow, I've made several changes and they were sustainable, easy to do, and I'm so much further than where I started. A lot of times we are overwhelmed when we begin our journey and we don't know where to start, so even just putting in little things will make a big difference into our routine in our lives and add up to a big change. So I want to talk today about lemon water. I briefly mentioned this in a previous episode, and I actually found a Facebook Live that my youngest daughter, she was 7 at the time, and she decided to hop on there and, just give kind of what she had learned about drinking lemon water in the morning. And then we also shared the Bristol stool chart in there, so I thought that would be great because we talk about that in episode 3. But it really showed me, looking back as a parent, that our children are listening. They may not, and this may go for you, whether you're a parent or not. Maybe it's friends or family. We don't think they're always listening, but they are taking in little pieces, and we're just planting those seeds along the way. So it was pretty cool as a mom to look back and stop and realize, oh yeah, my kids are taking in some of this information. And as you all know with lives, it is live, and I just kept it like that. So some things we don't plan for, but it was nice seeing her give her version of what she thought it helped with. So y'all can check that out. I will have a link to that in the show notes. So lemon water, I touched on that briefly, like I said in a previous episode, but if you are a coffee drinker or tea drinker in the morning, I really suggest that you, when you wake up, try to fit in some water. If you can do the lemon water, it's great to have it lukewarm, room temperature, but maybe a little bit above room temperature, and half a lemon, organic if you can get it. Something we're going to talk about in a future episode is how to, if you're just starting out, there's something called the Dirty Dozen, and those are the 12 with the highest pesticides on them. So if you're just starting out, that will give you a great reference of, okay, start with buying these 12 items organic, but then there's also the Clean 15, and those are the cleanest ones that have the least amount of pesticides or chemicals. So you can skip those and not necessarily get overwhelmed with buying everything organic. But if you can, get an organic lemon or a lemon, and you want to use half of that, and you're basically going to warm up the water, pour it in your mug, squeeze in half a lemon, and stir. Try to get that in first thing in the morning. The great thing about this, it massages your organs and it prepares them for digestion. They've got a big day ahead. Your digestion tract has a big day ahead of itself, and it's always working to digest better. And given our individual situations, it might be really overtaxed, and constantly your body is trying to digest. And what that does is it takes its attention away from the rest of your body and trying to heal, and that's not good. So we want to be able to do as much as we can for our digestion so our body can focus on what it needs to do, which is keeping us healthy. So it really helps to have everything prepared the night before. So I know when I first started trying this, I thought it sounded great in theory, but then when I put it into action and it was a busy morning, kids were flying everywhere, trying to get everything ready, it just wouldn't always work out. So something that I did, I had as much out as I could the night before. And that goes for anything. That goes for especially your overall morning routine, which can a lot of times be hectic for a lot of people. As much preparation as you can do the night before, the better, because it's going to set you up for a successful morning. So have ready the things. Well, one, make sure you have lemons. And you could even, if you wanted, pre-cut your lemon and have it in a container. That saves you one step in the morning. I used to heat mine up in a little pan, and I would have the pan out, the little pot, like the little mini pot, have that out on the stove and ready to go. Have my plate and my knife if I hadn't cut my lemon, and know where my lemon is, make sure I can see, the lemon's here, I've got lemons. So those little things we don't think about right now, but it adds up especially if you're really rushed in the morning. So prepare as much as you can the night before. If you need to set an extra, it takes such little time, but maybe if you're just so rushed and pushed to the limit, set your alarm 3 minutes earlier or something. So wake up, sip on your lemon water first thing. If you cannot do lemon water, do water. And I know this is hard for the coffee drinkers, but just try it. There's something we'll be talking about throughout the podcast, but it's called crowding out. So you want to add in the healthy things and your new habits, and you'll begin crowding out the less desirable ones versus just telling yourself, I need a cold turkey cut this or that, or I can't do this anymore. That's just setting our brain up to want it more, actually. So we want to take the approach and mindset that this is for my body. It's something I'm doing that will help me, and I'm going to add in these little things that will eventually add up to big changes. So another thing you can do is drink water throughout the day. This is something that we started in our family years ago, but honestly, we drink mainly water in our family. We have water on hand. Every now and then we'll buy a juice if family's coming over, or if my girls have friends over, they might ask and I'll let them buy juice, but we don't do dairy in our home. Right now we have almond milk. Sometimes I'll buy coconut milk, and we just have mainly water. So if you don't have it in your house, you have to go that one extra step to get it, and you're less likely to make that move, and you'll drink more water. You may not realize how little water you're drinking until you really are intentional about measuring it. So I encourage you, as you go along your day today, really think about how much water you're drinking. I know I was the same when I started working out and really working it into my routine after becoming a mom. I thought, I drink water. But then when I really made myself measure what I drank, I did not drink water that much. I didn't drink enough. Pretty much the standard is half your body weight in water. So, for example, if you're 140 pounds, you would want 70 ounces of water. But now, remember, that's just a regular day. That doesn't account for, I live in Texas, so that doesn't account for the summer humidity or, doing tons of activity that day or being outside all day. But that is a good rule of thumb, and chances are a lot of people aren't even getting that. And remember, I'm a holistic health coach, and I am sharing from my experiences, but this is in no way intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any illness or disease, and you always want to consult your healthcare professional before you make any changes to your health and routine. So this is just a starting point, right? We want to start somewhere, and you need to become your own advocate for your health and take this into consideration and prioritize it into your life. So back to the water, it helps me if I see something. It'll remind me, a visual cue, I need to have more water. So right now, I buy a gallon of water at the store, and I have it out there in the morning. I pour in, my shaker bottles, and I drink my water in the morning, and it really gives me a visual to see, okay, I've gone, halfway through my water for the day. I know I need to get in X amount of water before too late in the day, because I don't want to have it too late and interrupt my sleep. But that may be something that helps you, whether you need to pre-measure your water out in your cups throughout the day, or take something like that with you, or have, say, maybe 3/4 of the water that you should be drinking during the day if you work. And then you have that last part of water left when you come back. But there's really no need to go by. I've seen these containers that beep at you, and they do all kinds of things. You can do that, but for me, I have enough of those devices in my life, and that to me, that's overwhelming. So I do it basically the old-fashioned way. I know how much water I need to drink, and I have that in a container, and I keep drinking until I've had enough for the day. So try those things. The second thing, so lemon water or water, and the other thing I want to talk about is getting in movement, at least for 30 minutes a day. Once again, you might be listening and thinking, okay, Jess, like I move all the time. Of course I move around. Well, a lot of us are sedentary, and it's prolonged sitting. We don't realize how much we sit. We drive to work or drive to wherever it is we're going for the day. We go and sit down at a desk. Then we might get up, do a few things, and then drive again in our car to get food, and then go and sit and eat our food. And then we drive again home, and maybe we sit and watch TV. So there's a lot of sitting time, and kind of like the water, if we're not intentional and really paying attention to how long that is, it can really creep up on us. So the American Heart Association has been saying for years that prolonged sitting isn't good for us. So really, regardless of the amount of physical activity, so maybe you say, oh, I go to the gym or I run and I've done a Zumba class or yoga, that still doesn't counteract the prolonged sitting, if that makes sense. So in other words, we can't just go work out really hard and then sit in a desk all day or in a chair and then come home and like barely move around. That just isn't going to work. It negatively impacts the health of our heart and our blood vessels. And American Heart Association, you can check them out at heart.org, but they also say it's associated with an increased risk of developing diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and overall risk of death. So you just don't want to do it. You really want to be intentional about the movement that you're having throughout the day. We were created to move. Our bodies were made to move. And with the conveniences that we have, which are great, I love it. I love a lot of the conveniences we have, but it's also taken away the necessity to move around as much, and we need to be intentional about that. Exercising and moving, it creates balance in our body, mind, and spirit. And I talk a lot about the mind-body connection, and as a holistic health coach, taking a holistic approach to health and addressing the whole person, I know that all areas of our life are connected and they affect the other. So this movement and this physical fitness is tied to our mental state of mind, our mental health, emotional health, as well as the physical part. So exercising regularly can also reduce anxiety, or it can boost your mood as endorphins are released. So I know that I usually work out in the mornings, and when I don't, I notice right away a difference in my mood. It's not that I'm in a bad mood or I'm really negative, but it's just not quite the high that I feel when I've had a great release of all this energy and stretching myself to try new things physically or just working up a sweat. So I really enjoy it, and it's part of that. It's releasing those endorphins, and you feel better. So not only is it good for you aesthetically, but also just to have that mindset of the morning. And not only is it good for you physically, meaning you're building a stronger core, which helps your back, which helps all the other areas of your body to prevent injury and just to be able to move around better and for a longer time in our life. But it also helps you emotionally and mentally. Prepare for the day, take on that stress, good and bad, make better decisions. So it's all connected. So I highly encourage you to work in moving at least 30 minutes a day. If you sit at a desk during work, make yourself take those breaks, even if it's just to do a quick stretch or walk up and down the hall. It's so important. Set a timer on your phone so you don't get distracted in a big project and forget. Your health is important and you have to start somewhere. I do want to share something. If you are a parent, On my blog, unprocessedjess.com, I have a post up there, and it's 5 activities to do with your kids that burn calories. This is something when I had 3 kids, 5 and under, I would get overwhelmed a lot and stressed, and I oftentimes didn't want to go, actually go to the gym and put them in the childcare and then deal with all of that and get them ready and drive to the gym and drive home. So sometimes I would just grab my kids and go out in the back and play with them. And you would be surprised how much just playing with kids in general, if you don't have kids, your niece or nephew, or borrow a neighbor's kid, I'm sure they'll take you up on that. Play with them. It is the best exercise. You're doing so many cool movements on the playground equipment. And there's things you can actually do around there, like I've done. I still, when I go with my girls and my husband and I, we go to the park, we'll do push-ups off of the slide or pull-ups on the monkey bars. And there's a lot of cool things you can do. So play with them. You can also walk with them or walk your dog. This is something that won't only help you, but it helps create that quiet time, just to have with your family. Walk with them, walk with your pet. I'm sure your pet will appreciate it as well. And it also can be something you can do if you have a family to bond together. Get on your bike and go on a bike ride with them. You can use them as weights depending how old they are. I used to do this with mine when they were little. I'd drag them on my legs or put them on my back when I would do push-ups. And then when my youngest was really, really little, I would use her as weights when she was a tiny little baby. As far as just, I would hold her, say I'd get on my back and I would go move her side to side, do little lifts, and you can do a lot with that. You can also bounce with them, get on a trampoline, and that helps not only your physical fitness, but once again, there's that digestion. That might help, kind of get things moving as well. So use your children or children of others if you don't have any to work that in. And then that's one less excuse you have for fitting in your movement for the day. I tried something with my neighbor, and we do what we just walk in the morning. So she is a busy family attorney. She has 3 children like I do, and I could literally see her front door from my front door. But we noticed we would never see each other. Her twins are friends with my youngest daughter, and our husbands would walk our kids to the bus stop together, but we didn't have a relationship. So we said, okay, let's just walk. So we would walk at 5:10 in the morning, and it really helped us become closer friends and get to know each other better. So not only are you growing in community and connecting with someone else, but you're getting in a physical activity. So that might be an option for you as well. If you can't get it in the morning, maybe you can find someone, a neighbor, a coworker, or someone to meet in the middle on your way home and just walk. Then it takes off having to always meet at a restaurant or Starbucks or somewhere. You're not spending money. You're doing something great for your body, and you're also connecting. So that's something else you can try. So the takeaways for today: start with lemon water in the morning if you can, or just at least some water. Really monitor your water intake throughout the day, and try to move for at least 30 minutes a day. You will be surprised at how much these small changes will affect you and add up over the summer even. And I'm excited to hear back if you've made some of these changes. We'll see you in episode 5. Remember, healthy mind, body, business.
Thank you for joining us this week for Naked Talk, candid combos about whole health. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe and never miss an episode. Head over to unprocessedjess.com, where you'll be able to find all links and resources mentioned in today's show. That's unprocessedjess.com.